You see the notification instantly. You read the message, you process it, and then set the device down. Before you know it, 4 hours have passed, and you still haven't sent a single word in response. The person on the other end is likely assuming the worst. To them, being left on read suggests arrogance, laziness, or an intentional attempt to play hard to get. This reaction is a product of a modern cultural baseline that equates silence with rudeness, fueled by the expectation of 24/7 digital availability. Psychological analysis of this behavior reveals a different story, one that looks past the surface-level breach of etiquette. In many cases, the delayed text is a subconscious defense mechanism initiated by the nervous system. By examining the brain's reaction to digital stimuli, we can see how this silence may serve as a buffer against mental burnout. To understand why we wait, we have to look at how the brain budgets its internal energy when a notification pings. This meter represents cognitive bandwidth. Reading a message is passive, taking almost zero mental effort to register what someone wants. But when it's time to reply, the energy meter plummets. Responding is an active task requiring emotional processing and decision-making. If your social battery is already low, your nervous system flags that upcoming interaction as an expense you can't afford right now. You might assume it's simple enough to just send a quick LOL or an emoji. However, high-sensitivity and introverted individuals often reject shallow communication. Their brain tells them to wait for the perfect window of time to give a thoughtful answer. Someone they value deserves more than a half-hearted reply. Waiting for those perfect 10 minutes of mental clarity is actually a sign of how much they value the connection, even if the resulting silence feels like the opposite. On a broader level, this delay acts as a subconscious pushback against the modern expectation of being constantly on call for others. By choosing when to respond, you are sending a silent signal to your own brain that you maintain control over your own time and the pace of your life. But this defense mechanism creates a psychological trap, the avoidance-guilt loop. As time passes, guilt builds into a wall of anxiety. When the brain encounters this anxiety, its default is avoidance. The message goes ignored because your brain escapes the discomfort of its own lateness. The silence, then, is rarely an act of malice. It is the brain running away from the guilt it created for itself. If you struggle with this cycle, it's important to recognize that this doesn't mean you are a toxic friend or a lazy communicator. Your brain is simply working through social interactions with a high level of intensity and trying to protect its limited mental energy. While you might not be able to change how your nervous system budgets energy, you can change how you manage the people around you. The most effective step is to be transparent with your inner circle about your communication style. When you preemptively explain that you often need time to process replies, it removes the weight of personal rejection and prevents your friends from taking the silence personally. By setting these expectations, you protect relationships and your internal peace, giving you the freedom to dictate the pace of